What's going on, y'all? It's J Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bring you guys a recap video. There was a bunch of prediction videos, kind of like burned me out a little bit, which is why I didn't post a lot through the week. Figured I had an event this weekend. You know, we could take a couple days to breathe. And now you do have a recap here for Still Outside. Calicoe's a card out in Michigan. Successful venture, in my opinion. High points of the card from top points, and then even high points from like lower talent on the card, newer talent, undercard type of talent, if you will. Not a lot happened really badly. Clean versus Rex didn't go down. I don't know why. Am I shocked? No. Both these gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, from the rip, off the rip, I thought, we'll see if Clean versus Rex goes down. So that didn't go down, and then I missed the first battle of the card. Can't remember the gentleman's name who were battling, but heard they had a pretty good back and forth. But besides that, I'm just going to cover this starting from battles that happened in the beginning that I know of. Some battles to talk about more than others because there was some low points of the card. Got to give it that. It was a full experience, but overall, really enjoyed it. Loved the streaming and the crowd. I thought the way the event was actually put together was fantastic. So it really just leaves you with mostly the battles to talk about. So without further ado, we'll start from the bottom of the card. So first battle to talk about is Lady Caution versus Bailey Lee. This is the first battle. Like I said, I didn't catch the beginning battle, which I heard was good, but this is the first one I was able to catch, and it was a cool opener. I thought Bailey was she was alright, wasn't really clean. 2 rounds she ends up choking, so Caution won this battle pretty clear, and it was like a decent Caution at that, but I thought Bailey did enough specifically kind of in the first 2 rounds content wise to show she's got a little bit of something. The cleanliness and kind of the pace issues before that kind of shows we're talking more of an amateur type of talent here, someone that's newer, but she didn't bring nothing to the table. You know what I'm saying? I thought the battle was fairly entertaining. I thought Caution caught this one 2-1 clear, if not 3-0. From there, you got OSolo versus Black Fonz. Not to be confused with Fonz, who is also black. This man is a OG type of rapper, you know what I'm saying? Battling OSolo is a bad joint. This is a really bad joint. I thought the first round, Black Fonz won, and he was actually pretty good. The thing with OSolo is I see people in this, I get it, OSolo, it's funny, it's jokes, right? And people are like, how do you beat, like how are you supposed to beat this? Yo, a lot of people are beating OSolo. I don't know, like, he's been a little more active in this last, year or two, and I don't know if y'all have watched, but Danny smoked him. He did beat the weird ATM dude on GTX, but I don't know, man. I get the OSolo gimmick, the iconic moment that he gave us, but I'm not really buying this whole active OSolo battler thing. And then Black Fonz's last 2 rounds were treacherous. There's really no other way to put it. So, not a good joint. You want a winner? Ask somebody else. Then from there, you got into, I'm trying to think of what the third battle was. Asi Amora versus Yoshi G. A lot to talk about with this one. First of all, it was a very good battle. I thought it was a very good battle from both sides. And going into this, I thought Yoshi was just going to get a very clear victory. Here, I wasn't familiar, you know what I'm saying, with Asi's game. And I'd heard that, she's a beautiful woman, which obviously that she is, but I didn't know what it would be like on the rap side. I hadn't heard hype. So Yoshi's first, she goes, she's good. And Yoshi's pretty much good this whole battle, but her first, I was like, all right, this is an applied Yoshi. And then Asi goes, she's really good too. I thought the difference in delivery was pretty evident. I think the first is close for that reason because Yoshi is just executing like a pure battle rapper, the aggression of it, the actual rapping of it. But content-wise, I had Asi edging the first round. I think it's like kind of a toss-up first. You get into the second. Yoshi's second is better than her first. Like, yo, this is a good Yoshi G. We're going to talk about something that she did afterwards, but this is a good Yoshi G. Asi goes in the second, man. That blend of real talk that she had, some creative punchlines. I thought that she was actually writing with Yoshi too when it came to the peak bars of the battle. Clearly won the second. Stepping on shit in the second. You get to the third round of this battle, it's kind of the same. I thought Yoshi was pretty good in the third too. Maybe her weakest round of the 3. Asi Amora goes again, bro. And this was really this was a breakout type of performance. Like, I was extremely shocked by this. Like I said, I thought Bailey was pretty decent. Hometown talent. And then Asi over here really held it down for, I think she's from Detroit. Got to be from Michigan. I'm pretty sure it was a home game one way or the other. But she really impressed the hell out of me. I had her content-wise with the ladies like 30 over Yoshi and a pretty good Yoshi. But I thought she took the last 2 rounds clear over her. And then obviously, last portion of her round, she goes to have this thing with Yoshi. Everyone wants to talk the hoe shit with Yoshi. So she's like, I got to have a conversation with your pussy. So she bent down. She was going to talk to the pussy. And then probably y'all have seen the viral clip. Yoshi's cuts the round and is like, no, time, absolutely not, 2 minutes. And like, this one thing to call time. And listen, I see some people side with Yoshi in the way that I think most people will get. If somebody's rapping over the time limit, you don't want to get set up. You don't want it to be a trap where they're just rapping 4 or 5 minutes to your 2 minutes, right? So Yoshi she stopped her, but then she let her go for 2 bars, but then she stopped her again and like literally ran off into the crowd. So she went about it very animated, but people were like, oh, she's in the right for the time. But then I realized, because I was kind of with her too. Nobody rapped 2-minute rounds this battle. We were on the very last round, pretty much the end of the battle, right? And she's like 2-minute rounds done. And I don't know the contract, right? But I know Yoshi did not rap 2-minute rounds in her rounds either. I don't think either of them rapped a round that was under 3:30. Like, this was just a full-length regular battle. And I'll give it, like, Asi's third was running a little bit long. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the worst thing in the world that it got cut. But I think Yoshi went about it kind of crazy. I did not see a 2-minute round in this battle, so I don't know how all of a sudden this 2-minute rule just kicks in for the final, I guess, like 30 seconds of the battle. But I don't know, man. I actually thought Yoshi had a good performance, but I think she kind of lost her mind there with the way she went about it. The message ain't even that bad if you want to call time and end the battle. You know what I'm saying? She is rapping a long time, but you still a professional. You got to go about it a certain way, and nobody rapped 2 minutes the whole battle. So with all that being said, I don't want that to take away from the content, though. I was still impressed. Like, I thought Yoshi had a good performance. But I thought Asi really just put everyone on notice and really expected to be decent or just hang around. She ended up really rapping like she was one of them. So really clear win and easily the upset of the night and like contender for performer of the night for real. So kind of at the halfway point, mostly is just like the bigger battles left. So I want to kind of go out of chronological order, talk about a few of these like, in passing battles, kind of more forgettable, really, for the lack of a better term. First one I want to talk about is KWalker versus Mackk Myron in terms of like the second half. One rounder got booked late. I think Cal tweeted that it got booked, so it wasn't even on the flyer. And late prep ended up with late prep quality. This is a bad joint. Like I said, one rounder, so it's not like Black Fonz and OSolo were dragged on, but Mackk, even at home, it's just Mackk just isn't in form right now. And it's been like this for well over a year, ever since the Fonz battle on URL. People have talked about he hasn't battled as much one-on-one, which is true, but if you look at the quality, I kind of understand why. Fonz battle, smoked. Chess battle, terrible one-rounder. Really kind of like this battle. Him and Clean have had the little 2-on-2 run, but it's left a lot to be desired. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been fantastic. Even when I think he battled Jade too, that wasn't that great either. But KWalker. Now, KWalker, ever since his Riggs battle, it's been looking up. And I've been very, I used to be critical of KWalker, and I feel like recently he's been on a good little run. This was a little bit of a vintage KWalker round in the wrong direction, right? Like, this was not good. This was not good. This was terrible. It might have been the worst round wrapped on the card. Like I said, late prep. Some people just aren't built for it, and I just think you look content-wise and pacing-wise. Not even I think KWalker, he might have choked at one point, but with the way his content was, it doesn't really matter either way. Mackk wins in default, but neither of these gentlemen win. This was a bad joint. It just kind of happens that way sometimes. And then Geechi battled Joey Linwood in a 3-rounder. You're like, oh, Joey Linwood. I didn't know him either. You know what I'm saying? But you got 3-round battle here versus Geechi. Not the most serious Geechi, kind of freestyling through. The peaks that he's able to produce are higher than what Joey's able to reach, but he's not the cleanest throughout the battle. Definitely West Coast Charlie Clips appearance here in terms of the way he went about it. I actually still had Geechi 2-1. I thought he was able to kind of freestyle it up, you know what I'm saying, in the third, make it work. I wasn't that impressed with Joey, but I'm not about to discuss this battle more than that. You give it to who you want to. Leaves you with 3 big battles left in the card. And first one I want to talk about is XFactor versus Tru Foe. I keep saying first one, although I'm talking about all these battles. My apologies. But XFactor versus Tru Foe shocked me. Another one that shocked me, like Yoshi and Asi, was good. I expected Tru Foe to just clean up XFactor. You look at the XFactor you've seen over the last 10 years for the most part, it's been very beatable performances. I think outside of his Jerry performance, right in 2018, that was pretty good. But I gotta say, man, Tru Foe I was impressed. First round and third, he gave the performance he needed to. I thought he had some hard stumbles in the second and the third. They both choked in the third, which we'll talk about in a second, so it didn't fully kill him, but just content-wise, Foe applied himself, and he gave the performance he needed to. You look at the first round, it's heavily contested because Foe raps good, but so does XFactor, man. And it's a vintage XFactor show, and I think the first bar for bar is pretty close. I think the other thing about XFactor, too, is the comedy and just the one-of-oneness and the style. Even though content-wise over the years, the problem was XFactor kind of stopped rapping good shit. This is a lot of, whack bars. But when he's rapping good, his sound is one-of-one, so they were close in the first. I will say XFactor had a pure gay maker at the end of his first, which is pretty much his signature move. We all know he's going to say some sus shit in the battle, but he said, to Tru Foe, and I quote, because I'm not, please don't blame me, you know what I'm saying? But he said, "It's like I'm his bitch. I'm fucking him." I didn't like that X Factor. I was not a fan of that. So I had Foe edge in the first round, like winning by an edge either way, but that one definitely helps the case. But the second, Tru Foe is good in the second, but X Factor's second, the best round he has rapped in 11 years. There's really no exaggeration to that. He was good versus Jerry West, that was 2018, but to see when X Factor was rapping this good, you got to go back to like Gnome 2 when the man battled Averb. I mean, no bullshit. Vintage. I mean, truly like an elite level X Factor, especially in the second. So I had it 1-1. You could debate 2-0 for X, but I had it 1-1 going into the third. And the third is kind of where the dip happens. Foe has another good round in the third. He stumbled hard in the second, though, right? So he was already going to lose content-wise to X in the second. Then he stumbles hard in the third. He's a good third. Maybe his best round, but really, like, kind of like a choke. It's really even hard to call it a hard stumble. It was like kind of quick, but it was kind of a choke. Luckily for him, X Factor takes the third to do a whole Midwest history round, which was cool, but not the most direct. And on top of that, X Factor choke. So X's weakest round, still entertaining to watch someone that truly was there beginning of the Midwest era talk about the Midwest era, but wasn't really executed perfectly, you know what I'm saying? Kind of left that door open for Foe to still win the round with the choke. So I had Foe clearly winning the third round of the battle. Had him by an edge in the first, but it is debatable. And they had not battle of the night, but one of the better battles of the night. You got a performance from X Factor I know many of us, including myself, wasn't expecting, and an applied Tru Foe, and actually he still walks away with the win, and he walks away with good footage. So I needed one from Foe here, and even though it wasn't maybe as clear as I expected going in, I still think he got the good look that he needed from this battle. And then there was 2 battles left, and really need a minute to talk about Bill Collector versus Tay Roc. Battle of the night, maybe battle of the year so far. And overall, I mean, really impressive. And this is what you want big matchups to feel like, right? So you get to the first round of this battle, and Roc raps first. He got a good round. His first is good. I'm like, this is a pretty good round. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he could be beat. I was like, you know, this is Bill, one of the biggest battles of his career. This is good, but you might need to be great. You might need to be great because I think Bill's going to be in rare form. And dog, Bill Collector's first round, god damn, he was whooping on Tay Roc something vicious in the first round. Not only did he win the first clearly, he body bagged the first. Bill's first is bar for bar incredible haymakers. I mean, back to back. It's not just chain punching, it's chain haymakers. It's the Devil Bar Bill type of raps you want to see that you saw in the KOTD tourney, that you saw versus Chess. And dog, he lit Tay Roc up like a Christmas tree in the first round. It was 1-0 disgustingly with an elite, a nuclear Bill first. Then Roc goes in the second. He lands a haymaker early. I forgot what it was. Like, oh, y'all remember Roc face on the 50 like Jefferson? That dumb shit, right? He said, if y'all see my Jefferson bar, something like that, then y'all would know this ain't the first time I fucked up the face of Bill or something like that. The way he brought that full circle moment for one of the all-time nonsense bars, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, yo, he's going to need like 10 or 15 more of those, though. He's going to need haymakers. And he had that. Second round, Tay Roc. The way Bill's first and Tay Roc's second might be the 2 best rounds rapped this year so far. I mean, it was that fucking good. You got a classic Tay Roc second that immediately goes into the second round Roc catalog. And it might go kind of high up there. We'll have a conversation one day. Might do a second round Roc video. And that Bill second is one of the best of them. So it was a clear 1-1 going into the third. I mean, they were punching crazy. And to think, even the rounds they got kind of bodied each other in, their other opponent's round was good. Like, Roc lost the first by a lot. But his first wasn't ass. And the same thing for Bill's second. So it was 1-1 going to the third. And then the third's got a little bit of a dip. And that's probably going to hold this from being that C word, being a classic, because we were really close to that. I mean, it was a special battle 2 rounds through. And the third isn't like ass, but it's just not as special as those first 2 rounds. So Roc goes in the third. His third's not as good as his second, but it's better than his first. And it's just a punch in third for the most part. Bill flips, things of that nature. My bad, I'm not as good on the bar for bar quotes as I'd like to be, but y'all are going to have to watch Bill and Roc either way, because this battle's fucking amazing. So, third, right? Good round for Roc. But I thought, kind of like the first, but a little bit more difficult. This can't be beat. Like, if Bill's great, Bill goes in the third, and to me, just a misapproach. I thought if he rapped like his first or straight back-to-back, thought he could have just went bar for bar with Roc and really won this battle, especially that third. But got into angles, you know what I'm saying, the Fred angle, Roc, you hooking up with transgenders, you know what I'm saying, kind of revisits almost fight angle that he hit up in the second. By the end of his third, I thought Bill got back to punching a little bit, and he ends on a haymaker too. So his third, he's able to wrap back around the second half, but that first half of his third with the angles that I thought were missing for the most part, a lot of people have tried to angle Roc at a time. They could probably just beat him bar for bar. And I think this is another instance of, even though it's close enough, I've seen many people that have Bill. I thought he kind of cost himself with those approaches in the third instead of just rapping with them. And that's why I have Tay Roc taking the battle 2-1. As good as Roc is, it almost feels like he got away with one, because I thought Bill could have been tapped into his first for that whole third and been just as great. But a little bit of a miscalculation. Even though it's an amazing battle, I thought that's what cost them, and has Tay Roc walking away with another victory, in my opinion, on really a special run. And this has been the most special battle so far from that run, as many expected. We know Loso and A-Ward are on the way, and we know the hype that's on that A-Ward battle, but Bill was considered, if not as tough of an opponent as Ward, maybe tougher to some, and this battle completely lived up to the hype. Easily battle of the night. I had Roc winning, but whether you got Bill, whatever it is, clearly a standout. Then you have the main event of the night, which is Cal and Reed, which was a dream match for me on paper. I love the pure rap and the street shit they could have got into. But Reed, it might be over, man. I mean, I'm just looking at the way Reed Dollaz is rapping, and it's tough because he gives you the ill will performance, you know what I'm saying, which is good. He gives you the swamp one rounder recently, which is good. But then he's got battles like this and his P performance where it's nothing. It's nothing. If I have to grade the content 1 to 10, I wouldn't give it a number. I wouldn't even give it 0. I mean, really tough performance from Reed. And Cal was good for a portion of time. I thought his first was good. His second, content-wise, was really good. And then he choked. And then his third is kind of awful. And he choked again in the third. But similar to the Foe and XFactor situation, Reed chokes in the third too. So it doesn't actually end up penalizing Cal. Running an event and rapping on it is always hard. I'm going to say it every time. That's why John loses a lot on bullpen, in my opinion. That's why OSolo's lost a fair amount of battles on UW. It is extremely hard to prepare 3 rounds at this pro level while running the whole event, making sure everyone's on stage, everyone's paid, everyone's doing their job to make the event go smoothly, streaming, things of that nature. It's a lot that goes into running an event. So when I look at this battle, I thought Cal clearly looked like someone that was stressed with that, but he won the first round clear because he just rapped better. The second, he clearly rapped better, but he choked, so it was kind of a default 1-1. And then thankfully for Cal, they both choked in the third. Reed was kind of terrible either way, to be honest with you. So it was Cal 2-1 clear, but lackluster main event. But overall, still a very, very good card here in Detroit. And that is my full recap there for the Still Outside card. So just to go over it, because I know I talk a little bit fast, right? So just to go over it one more time here at the end, at least those top-level battles. Cal 2-1 clear over Reed. Reed's looking like he's got nothing left in the tank. Bill Collector versus Tay Roc, fantastic battle. I have Tay Roc 2-1, but both those gentlemen should be very proud of their performance. XFactor versus Tru Foe, good battle. Tru Foe 2-1 edge, and the rest of the card, Asi Amora with a real standout shocker performance. Lady like 30 over Yoshi, and then Lady Caution caught herself a win over Bailey. So then everything else is everything else, right? So for the most part, like I said, good card. Happy with the results of it and the quality. It's not like an unbeatable. I think it might be like an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 type card, but considering how kind of quiet 2024 has been, that really is up there for maybe the best card so far. We have a lot of big cards on the way, so I'm sure by the time Riot rolls around, a couple more big URL events, the Chrome and Trenches weekend, I'm sure that battles will overtake, cards will overtake this, but as of right now, definitely a success to me, and probably my favorite card I've watched so far this year. And I want to hear your guys' opinions for those that have watched it, particularly how do you feel about Bill versus Roc? It's that good of a battle. I want to hear all takes on it. And otherwise, is there any other standout takeaways? XFactor Vintage, how'd y'all feel about that? And then Asi Amora, I know her and Yoshi, that battle is going to end up probably getting a lot of looks for the wrong reason. I saw Yoshi even went online and was going crazy on Instagram afterwards. So I'm sure this is going to get promoted the other way. But it was a very good battle. I want to hear how y'all feel about the raps. And then, as you know, other events will be coming up. And I won't be taking no more just 5-day breaks. Even if it's history content, something, I'll make sure not to just leave y'all, you know what I'm saying, out there in the wind like that for that long again. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the Still Outside card. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.